Good morning. My name is June Lee Peaches. Welcome to In the Kitchen with June Peaches. Too much damn sugar. I can taste the dishonesty. Child, we just done been through some shit. But I come from some mighty sturdy timbers, and then a damn thing gonna put a dim on this shine. No ma'am, it's Fenty. But in any event, we've got Juneteenth coming up this week, and I've been tasked with whipping up a few things for the celebration. Now, before I go any further, if you're new, you're gonna want to tickle on that subscribe button. I'm more entertaining than a barrel full of tigers. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back, hon. Now fix yourself a drink, set your seat, get yourself a comfortable, pick your drinking game, and get your bibs out. Because today, I'm finna have you drooling over this lobster baked mac and cheese. So one of my good friends is having a socially distanced Juneteenth celebration this Friday. He does it like a potluck, and usually I'm the one that brings the luck. He said he'll take care of the grilling stuff, which means I have to get there early enough to supervise and season and remind him that if we weren't friends, I'm expensive by the hour. But today, I figured I'd throw together my mac and cheese so I'd get one less thing to do on Friday. Scoop, that's what we call my friend, told me I could bring whatever I felt like making, and I just love an open canvas because I can get creative. However, he kept tiptoeing around the macaroni and goddamn cheese. Child, he was dropping hints like his hands were greasy and his grip was loose. You know Friday is less than a week away. What else you making with the mac and cheese? That was yesterday, after I told him I'm not turning on my damn stove this week. So guess who spent their morning in the supermarket buying cheeses? For me, the challenge in this was what cheeses to use. Ordinarily, when one thinks mac and cheese, a gooey combination of orange cheeses comes to mind. That's all good and wonderful, but until hopefully early November, I'm boycotting the color orange. I even switched to the purple fiber supplement, child. Oh, God. But a mac and cheese with white cheeses, without taking the mac and cheese too far a foot from what a mac and cheese should be, melty, tasty, macaroniable. I'm up for the challenge. Let's take a look at our mise en place, which, as you'll remember, is French for get your shit together.
Nah, really. Get your f***ing shit together. It's getting ridiculous.
Now that's a something, ain't it though? You're definitely going to want to sit a spell at junepeaches.com and print this one out. This is essentially a recipe and episode that I'm pulling out of my out of thin air. Yeah. So we're just going to see how it goes. I mean, they say if you're cooking to entertain, you should stick to something you've had success with before. Well, I say, bitch, I'm June Peaches. Check my resume. Let's get to cooking. The first and last letters of this lobster mac and cheese are flavor. Flavor, L-O-B-S-T-E-R-M-A-C, the little squiggly bit, C-H-E-E-S-E, flavor, period. And all of this flavor is going to start off with our water. We've got our salted water coming to a bubbling boil, and because it's like what Arnold said over Abraham, those who come from the sea shall return to the sea. So, into this ocean-like salty water, we're going to throw in the lobster and our pasta to cook. The salt, of course, that flavors everything, but you also end up having the lobster kiss its flavor parts all around the pasta. Now, in cooking lobster, you can't just go by color. Just because it's red, don't mean it's ready to be fed. I mean, almost kind of like, just because I'm black, don't mean, well. To cook lobster right, it's kind of akin to one of those 900 numbers. 7 minutes the first pound, then 3 minutes each edition. Now, if only Larry the Lobster and little Miss Call Me Now from Jamaica, Queens could give me some good lottery numbers, we'd be set. But I digress. As they say, we're kicking two birds while one of them is stoned. Al dente, the pasta I'm using needs to cook a hair longer than the lobster, so I've got some thongs to pull them out when the time comes. Pluck the lobster, drain the pasta. Your first two things just got done. Next, I'm going to preheat my skillet so we can get these onions softened up in a little bit. Now, it was ages ago the first time that I had a macaroni and cheese that wasn't just a macaroni and some cheese. It was my great-grandmother's recipe that my grandmother did one year. It was cute, a regular looking macaroni and cheese with some tomato slices on top and little diced ones mixed in. Wait, come to think of it, I never got to taste any of it. Greedy asses ate it all by the time I got near enough to dish my plate. That's survival of the fittest, child. That's when I realized Miss Clark from down the street wasn't kin, and her wheelchair takes off like a rocket at the slightest breeze. But where were we? Yeah, that's why I got the idea to throw some onion in my mac and cheese all those many years ago. Gives you a crunch and a texture, which is desirable, without throwing in breadcrumbs on top, which ain't desirable. It's a baked macaroni and cheese after all. Casseroles are completely different. The onion, that's only going to cook long enough to take some of the raw flavor away, child. You still need some of the onion crunch, but none of that devil's breath stuck behind at the back end. You know what I mean? About 5 minutes or so, until the edges start to get a little, translucent-ish. Into the mixing bowl, we add everything from the pan, along with our melted butter. You're going to mix that in real good, because you basically want it to coat the pasta like it's got on one little butter mix. Full length, supple, 62 inches, you know. And then after that, we add in our everything else. Our cheeses, which is where this recipe started. We've got a sharp cheddar, not the orange stuff because it's artificially added. And one artificially added orange motherfucker is enough for my taste. My God. We got provolone, Gruyere, Gouda, Fontina because we need a good melter in there, and some Asiago. Now the Asiago, that's a particularly pronounced tasting cheese. A little ripe and a little about it that makes you kind of whip your head back when you snip it. Now, I'm just adding a little bit less of that than the other cheeses. You know, as a matter of fact, it was the Asiago that had me make the sharp left turn and go visit my fishmonger man. You know, tart, nutty Asiago with the sweet, briny watercolor that is lobster. I mean, what more could you ask for?
I mean, other than an end to brutally beating and murdering unarmed black men and women that ain't doing nothing but mind their own damn business while being black in the environs of their own domicile.
And then my seasonings get mixed in. Along with that, the heavy cream and eggs. So, what is Juneteenth? Well, on the 19th of June, 1865, the Union soldiers, being led by Mr. Major General Granger, went down to Galveston, Texas to let Mr. Lee know what was going on. The war was over, and these here black people enslaved, and I quote, henceforth shall be free. From these past 2.5 some years ago, mind you. Slow and steady won that race, but it was before they knew not to shoot the messenger or the sheriff, so it took a bit. And they haven't stopped shooting since. So every year, on the 19th of June, we celebrate the end of slavery nationwide and the beginning of freedom in these I ain't gonna lie, America, period. But better late than never is what I say, because we're still waiting on about 40 acres and a Tubman 20, and a Tubman 20. And a Tubman 20. I got the stamp, but it's not the same. We could walk around like we belong, hold our damn heads up high, we could own things, we could savor that scrumptious taste of freedom lingering in the stale air. It was 1865. There was so much hope and promise. Historians call that period the Reconstruction era. Because it took them a minute to figure out how to legally reconstruct slavery. But it appeared things were looking up to the east side. We finally got a... yeah. Oh, hey, Jim! That's one of them good old boys. Be that nevertheless as it may, these freedom celebrations included eating, sporting, and activity. You know, just celebrating being free. Last year, we did a rodeo, and it's been a minute since June's been on a horse. But the cookout is a perennial staple every year, and that's big letter T followed by big letter C. The cookout is an every year thing. Come rain, come shine, we weather the weather, whatever, however, no matter whosoever. You know how it do. And we got permits too. But Scoot, he don't go nowhere without his grill tent. He just can't grill to save his life, that's all. He's like a barbecue version of all dressed up and no place to go. Bless his heart. He went to the store and bought all them toys, but forgot to go back when common sense and know-how was on sale. But let's get to finishing setting up this mac and cheese, child. I'm finna run my mouth so long it grease like to grow legs and about to walk away. No, man, just pluck on that thumbs up button. Make my God. For a recipe this side, I'm buttering a 9x13 dish. Butter is always doing double duty whenever I put her to work. Here, she's not only lubricating the pan, but she's also the glue for the next step. A mix of Parmesan and seasoned panko. Yeah. Breadcrumbs, girl. I know. I agree with the idea of breadcrumb giving you the crunchy texture. What I disagree with is setting eyes up on it in my face. Like a well-behaved child, seen and not heard. You want your breadcrumbs to be a, ooh, what's this in here? Delightful surprise. Not a, what the you put on the top of this perfectly fine baked macaroni sort of distraction. I ordered a chicken mac and cheese at a restaurant one day. And I sent it back because it had them little dusty ass used breadcrumbs up on top of it. In fact, one of my cousins, she brought some macaroni and cheese to my grandmother's repast. And Lord have mercy, I had to call child services on the child. Because we had children there and I didn't think it appropriate for them to see a freshly buried corpse come and slap the living daylight out of somebody on this side of life. That'll scar a formative mind for life. I firmly believe, with all of where my heart used to be, that if you know how to cook, you don't need breadcrumbs in your mac and cheese. This doesn't need a trust, but you know me, I'm June. I'm all about putting surprises in people's mouths, yes Lord. And for the crunch, we're just going to toast this in a preheated oven and get it cracking. Now like I said, for the full recipe, you can venture over to junepeaches.com because I know you're not sitting there writing this shit down. Now where was I? Yeah, so Juneteenth, it's a celebration of the nationwide abolishment of slavery. Not the 13th Amendment, because that was still another few months coming, child. Some things take time, I guess. 2.5, almost 3 years? What's another 155? And centuries before that? Now that the breadcrumbs are toasted and cooled, I'm going to very gently let the mac... Oh shit. I forgot the lobster. Child, the way I run my mouth is a wonder I remember to turn on the oven and the stove sometimes. I've got the tail meat and the meat from the little claws chopped up. Since this is a small gathering, I left the pieces nice
and chunky.
That way, they know you spent a grip on their ass. But I'm not going to be petty. At least not today. I'm chunking it so you know it's a celebration. God damn it. But I'll save these big claws and I'll put these on the top so people can take pictures and talk about how nice I made the food. But now, once we have the lobster folded in, and once that's nice and golden, then we gently lay the mac and cheese into the toasted bacon dish. For me, this is a do-ahead, only because I'm not sure how much I'm going to have to babysit Scoot at the grill. You know, he smoked a brisket one year, Lord have mercy, it was so raw that the damn cow left the platter to go graze on some grass. I guess he was hungry too. But if you don't have to monitor a well-meaning but ill endeavor, bless your heart, you can just throw this back into the oven for about 20-25 minutes until it's nice and bubbly, and then just let it rest and serve while it's nice and hot. This is going to turn up pretty. Trust. I'm going to put a picture up at the end for you. Ooh. But that looks like it's my time.
If you enjoyed my visit as much as I did, hit that little thumbs up button. If you didn't like it, well, I used to not like black eyed peas, but tickle across that thumbs up anyway. I'm tasty too. Tell your friends, share me with your daddy's friends, and don't forget to subscribe and click the little dingle bell. See you next Tuesday, huh? Till then, butterfly kisses and hot sauce wishes. This is June.